Hi guys, what is going on? Welcome back to a new video. Now it has been a very long time since I last posted. As you guys are probably aware, obviously we have the whole COVID thing going on right now, and it's really important that you do take it seriously. In the UK, we're just starting to come out of the COVID lockdown restrictions. So airsoft sites are starting to open up again. This is a big thing for all of us, but it is worth you guys taking those extra steps to make sure not only you are safe, but your loved ones as well. Anyway, let's get on with today's video. Today's video is all about the EDGI SAP piston. This time round, they've made it for the SSG24. Now, it's been on pre-order for absolutely ages, and they have finally released it. I've managed to get myself hold of one of them. Big thanks to EDGI for sending that to me. But as you guys know, I like to make sure my reviews are 100% honest, and that's exactly what I'm going to do in this video. Again, you know, I see a lot of reviews out there that I always feel are a bit biased, because, you know, you get people that they get sent it. When you're like listening to it, they're like, oh, this is amazing, this is amazing, this is the best thing in the world. And you know, it's not always like that. You know, so if there's bad bits, I'm going to tell you there's bad bits. But obviously if there's good bits, I'm going to big them up. So let's get on with it. First things first, I'm going to quickly pan to a slightly less outdoorsy place so that you guys can have a proper look at what you get inside the box. So when you guys first receive the EDGI SAP piston, this is what you're going to get. You're going to get a little box, and I thought I'd just run through everything that you're going to get. You should also receive a second little package. I'll go through the second package first. So in the second package, you receive a longer piston head. Didn't really need to be in focus, which is fine. And you get 2 glide rings. If it will focus, I don't know if it will. Inside the piston head, there is an O-ring. Now that O-ring comes in the main kit. So now we're going to come on to what you actually get. Obviously you get the O-ring that's in that one. You're going to get the piston itself. You're going to get 3 additional weights. One is already installed, but it's made of like a light aluminium, and I believe it's 56 grams, that aluminium one. You're going to get a spare shock absorber. So this is sort of the whole point of the SAP. Then you're also going to get a nozzle washer. Now, when I first got it, I was a little bit confused at exactly where this went, but this basically sits on there once you've installed it to dampen the shock hitting the hop-up chamber. When you receive the SAP piston, you're going to get it in this like sort of bronzy colour. Everyone's going to have a specific serial number. In this case, mine's number 71. Your air brake is going to be wound all the way in. Now I've wound it out the other parts. Now to take it apart, to change the weight, you grab this back piece and just unscrew it. Pull it out, there you go. And there's the 55 grams. To remove the top bit, simply take a screwdriver and pry the rubber off the top. Or if you can't do that, try and grip the white ring and just unscrew this bit, and basically or unscrew the air brake, and it will come off in the air brake. Now to adjust the air brake, I find the easiest thing is to pop it out. It's a bit stiff. Try and do it on like a hard table or something. So there's about, it might be hard to see, but it's about 2mm difference. So what we're going to do is we're just going to install the O-ring on the standard one, just so you guys can see. And it's a little bit fiddly trying to get it on there because it's a really snug fit, but that's a good thing. So you just get it on like that. You can actually use these just to push it in and make sure it's a really tight fit. Now what the O-ring does is it just adds a bit more rubber to this center bit, pushing it out, meaning that you get a better air seal inside your piston. So we have 65 grams, 75 grams, not that you can probably see that through the bag, just about make it out, Yep, just trust me, it's 75 grams, and then you have 85 grams. What we're going to be doing is we're going to take off this aluminium 55 grammer, and we're going to replace it with this stainless 65 grammer. So when putting these on, you shouldn't need tools to actually do them up, but if you need tools to undo them, just a small Allen key through there and a small Allen key through there, just to break them free. I do apologise, this camera is all forward focusing. So you're not going to want to set it much more than that. Obviously when it's out, it's going to stick out like 5 or 6 mil, as you can see. So what I like to do, this bit is designed to move. This is the suspension part of the piston. As you can see, there is a bit of movement just there. Put these bits on like this. I then get a long screwdriver just to brace the inside all the way forwards so you can push this piston head on. So the next thing we need to do is just apply the weight in the back. Again, just hand tight is fine. Simply, this is now ready to go into the gun. Obviously not forgetting to put our little saw bow up as well. So we'll now put it back in the gun and head out to the range. Now, the important thing with this is price, how quiet it is, whether it's worth the money, and overall what I think. The difference between price and worth it depends on your situation. Now, you know, obviously this has been sent and I'm not trying to hide that from you. So the first thing we need to address is what it's actually like. Now, you've seen from the little video I've inserted previously that the build quality is really good, and the machining tolerances are really tight. They've used top quality materials. Overall, it's got a base for an absolutely amazing product. Now, obviously you guys want to know how it shoots, how it sounds. So what I'm going to do in a minute is I'm going to shoot mine. Now I'm going to shoot out here, and I'm going to be approximately 30 meters away, because that is, in the UK at least, the minimum engagement distance for sniper rifles. So you want to be knowing, if you're at 30 meters, is that guy going to know where you are when you pull the trigger? That's something that I deem very important. A lot of people are going to include decibel readings and comparisons. Now, I did actually film a comparison of before and after, but I'm not actually going to include that in this video. EDGI have been really useful as far as they can be in terms of if I've had questions, they've done their very best to answer. So interestingly, I actually received it as 2 packages, not really too sure why. If you've pre-ordered this from Longbow, you will receive both at the same time. They've waited and put them both together, so it just saves one postage. By the time this video is out, most people's pistons that they've ordered are literally going to be with the postal services going to your front door. I do like this piston. Not only is it built well, but it looks really cool. It's a really good piece of engineering and machining. As a former machinist, I can really appreciate when someone has put time and effort into making something look as good as this does. But let's be real, the main thing you're here for is how loud is it? Now this, unfortunately, is where this review becomes a little bit negative, I guess. So in the UK, we are limited to 2.5 joules. Legally, pretty much all sites fall under 2.3 due to insurance reasons. Now, compared to a lot of places, this is a really low power outlet, and I do think that this is part of potentially what my issue is. By far one of the biggest things you can do to the SSG24, and this is now coming from, player to player, one of the biggest things and cheapest things you can do to your SSG24 to make it quiet is the cam mod. Search the SSG24 cam mod. I've not personally done a video, but there are loads of videos out there that can show you how to walk through this really cheap and inexpensive mod that will give you absolutely amazing results. Its bang for its buck is by far the best results that you can get, and overall it makes your gun really quiet. Twin that with a suppressor of some sort. I personally really like the Novrich one, as you will have seen in an older video. It makes the gun really quiet. Is this going to be the be all and end all to make your gun super quiet? Unfortunately it's not. Honestly, I managed to get that shooting really quiet before I put this in. Now, I took the cam mod out just to make it fair. Now, one thing that is really good about this piston is it does allow you to adjust for joules without cutting up your spring. Now, what I've actually discovered is that, at least on this lower power output, what I'm finding is that as you increase the weight of the piston, especially if you jump straight to the heavy one, I was nearly halving my joules. One thing that is good is you do have the air brake adjustability, so it means that you can fine tune, if you're right in your joule limit, you can fine tune that little bit more. So that kind of comes on to the price. Now, I don't know if the price has changed since their actual release. When they originally came out, they had a pre-order price of £100 British. Do I think it's worth the money? Well, I will answer this question after I've shot it a bit. So I'm now going to shoot the gun, and I'm going to be shooting some 4.6s. Firstly, I'm going to fire 2 shots at 90 degrees to the camera at about 30 meters. This is to simulate you're in deep enemy territory and maybe there's a team that's slowly walking past that you've not seen. You know, they're 90 degrees, you've not seen them, they've not seen you. You're trying to pick someone off all in the distance. Are they going to hear your shots? Let's find out. Then what we're going to do is we're going to shoot within 10 meters of the camera, so off to the side about 10 meters. This should hopefully give you an indication of what it's like to be in the cone of a sniper. So, you know, realistically, if you're on the receiving end and you're at 30 meters away, are you going to be able to pinpoint exactly where that sniper is? And then finally, I'm going to be shooting within probably half a meter of the camera, just to, you know, protect the camera. But that should be close enough that you hear the shot flying past the camera. And do you hear the shot break from the actual gun? So let's find out. Okay, so I'm now at approximately 30 meters. So I'm going to now do 2 shots at 90 degrees. So those are the first 2 shots at 90 degrees. Now we're going to try shooting off. We're going to do around 7 meters, just to give you an idea of, like I say, that cone of view. I'll do one more. So finally, I'm now going to shoot directly past the camera. So that now sums up our shooting test. Obviously, this is one of those upgrades for people that are trying to really take full advantage of everything they can out of one of these guns, and I guess the video will really stand for itself. Now, it's hard to say exactly how it will sound through a microphone, but I know, at least for myself, it's very much a case of you still have a lot of piston noise, believe it or not. But I do believe that from a distance, it is definitely a different sound. Now, I guess that real question, is it worth it? So like I said, it's approximately £100. This is one of those questions that is really difficult to answer unless you're in someone's position. So would I spend £100 on this piston? Honestly, this is one of those mods that you really need to consider. It's not going to be night and day. It's, unfortunately, it is, I do believe, to the human ear, it's quieter than the standard piston. Do I believe it's significantly, i.e. £100 worth quieter? That's where it's really hard to tell. Obviously everyone is in a different position. Now if you have thousands of pounds just sitting around and you want the best you can get, I definitely recommend it because you'll be able to fine tune it, you know, with springs, with all kinds of stuff, to get it where you want it. Is it going to be as quiet as you expected? Honestly, it's not. Maybe I set my expectations a little bit too high, from having seen the effects on other guns. I was expecting quieter, to be brutally honest. Saying that, it does make a bit of difference, so you really need to weigh up yourself as to whether you think it's worth it or not. And I'm not going to put the shooting comparison in purely because I was really disappointed with the results of that, but then again you could argue that my gun was slightly quieter already. This is a hard video to make, to be brutally honest, and it's taken me a while to make it purely because I wanted it to do well. I had high expectations. Unfortunately they didn't quite come out how I wanted. I've been in talks with EDGI about why that might be. They've tried to assist in helping me, but I think there is a bit of a language barrier there which makes it really awkward. If you are struggling for money and you want to upgrade it, by far the cheapest thing you can do is the cam mod. That will take the twang out the piston. You can then look at things like the sorbo pad, which will take a bit of the impact out. Don't expect massive differences, but it will make a bit of a difference. And then finally, if you've got the budget to do it, definitely have a look at the SAP. And I don't know, you know, like I say, you guys are going to be receiving yours soon. Now, if you guys have got better results from your guns, I'd love to see them. You know, I'm all up for this product doing well. I hope you guys are staying safe. I hope to see you guys on the Airsoft field soon.